This right here is the reason why Dave Chapelle is the greatest comedian of all time and uncancelable. He simply does not give a fuck.
Thank you very much for being here. But before I start tonight, I just wanted to read a brief statement that I prepared. I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms. And I stand with my friends in the Jewish community. And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time. I gotta tell you guys, I've probably been doing this 35 years now. And early in my career, I learned that there are two words in the English language that you should never say together in sequence. And those words are the and Jews. I've never heard someone do good after they said that. Kanye's gotten into some scrapes before. Normally when he's in trouble, I pull up immediately. But this time I was like, you know what? Let me see what's gonna happen first. I just want to see where this is all going. I can't even remember how it started. Vaguely, I remember it started with a tweet, strange tweet. It was like, I'm feeling a little sleepy. I'm gonna give me some rest, but when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And then he just went to bed. I was up all night worried. What is he gonna do to the Jews? I grew up around Jewish people. I have a lot of Jewish friends, so I'm not freaked out by your culture. I know a little bit about it just from hanging around. I'll be like, yo, let's go out at school tomorrow. They'll be like, we can't go out. It's Shanana tomorrow. I'll be like, where? What is Shanana? I had so many questions. Why do some of your people dress like Run DMC? When Kanye woke up from that nap, he went right to work. A year ago, I'd seen him on a podcast called Drink Champs. Well, great show. And it was an amazing appearance. Noriega and them were there, the rappers that I love, and they all had their gold chains and stuff on. And Kanye said, only millionaires wear chains. They said, what? He said, I'm a billionaire. Billionaires don't wear their money on their body. I tucked my chain and I said, oh, snap. That's right. It was a good appearance. It was fun and funny. But when he woke up, he went on Drink Champs again. This time, he was on one. He was mad about something. He said, I can say anti-Semitic things, and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Adidas dropped that nigga immediately. Ironically, Adidas was founded by Nazis. And they were offended. I guess the student had surpassed the teacher. It's a big deal. He had broken the show business rules. There's just a rule, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
And you can just see the irony of that. I mean, you can make generalizations about certain groups, but you cannot make generalizations about another group. There's no standard there. It's a double standard, and I know that saying certain things about a particular group might be ignorant, might not be good, might not be true. But when people say these things, it doesn't mean they literally mean everyone from that particular group. And people take it to be so. And I ask myself, is anti-Semitism the only reason for someone to be critical of Jewish people? Is hatred, is bigotry the only reason to be critical of anybody, of any group at all? Is racism the only reason to be critical of black people? Is Islamophobia the only reason to be critical of Muslims? xenophobia the only reasoning to be critical of immigrants? So I was having a discussion with someone on Twitter and I asked the question. I mean, I say, okay, so this person has said this thing. Do you mean to say that anti-Semitism is the only reason why he could have said this? It's because he just hates Jewish people. He hates them. That's why he made the statement. His statement could be wrong. It could be ignorant. It could be 1,000 things. But just going straight to anti-Semitism seems a little bit strange to me.
Kanye got in so much trouble, Kyrie got in trouble. Kyrie Irving posted a link to a movie that he had seen on Amazon. No caption on the post or nothing like that. But apparently this movie had some, I don't know, anti-Semitic tropes or something. And it was some weird title like From Hebrew to Negro or something.
The funny thing is that that movie, I suppose, is still on Amazon, and nobody is calling for the cancellation of Amazon. Nobody is calling for the cancellation of Jeff Bezos. Nobody is even calling for the cancellation of the people who made that movie. So someone who just posted a link to that movie. There might be other parts of the movie that appeal to this guy. That's why he posted it. But to just come out and say, oh, this person posting this movie is an anti-Semite. He has to do this, he has to do that, he has to do this. I mean, where's the consistency here? If you want to cancel, you have to cancel across board. You have to look for the producers of that movie, the actors in that movie, and then people who are sharing it, who are making money off it from the platform like Amazon. You have to take them accountable as well. Why do you restrict it to someone who just shared something from the movie? On Twitter, he did not even make any caption as to say, okay, these are my thoughts on the movie. He just shared it.
And the NBA told me he should apologize, and he was slow to apologize. And then the list of demands to get back in their good graces got longer and longer, and this is where, you know, I draw the line. I know the Jewish people have been through terrible things all over the world, but you can't blame that on black Americans. You just can't. You know what I mean? Thanks to the one person that said who. A fair punishment would be he should just post a link to Schindler's List and y'all write your own captions. Kyrie Irving's black ass was nowhere near the Holocaust. In fact, he's not even certain it existed.
Now, this is incredibly brave in the part of Dave Chapelle. I know he's a brave comedian who doesn't hesitate to take on anybody. Like one commenter said that Dave Chapelle offends every group equally, but different groups get offended unequally. And the only other comedian that I think had the balls to do something like this is Norm Macdonald, the late Norm Macdonald, who in my opinion is the greatest comedian of all time. He simply did not give a fuck. I remember one time when he was fired by the SNL, and then 18 months later he was called back to host the show, and he just rips SNL to shreds.
You know, when the people here asked me to do the show, you know, I gotta say, I felt kind of weird, you know. I don't know if you remember this, but I used to actually be on this show, you know. I used to do the weekend update news routine. You remember that? And yeah, that's where I did the make-believe news jokes. You know, that was me, right? So then, a year and a half ago, right, I had a sort of a disagreement with the management at the NBC. I wanted to keep my job, right? And they felt the exact opposite. So you see, they fired me because they said that I wasn't funny, you know? Now with most jobs, I could have had a hell of a lawsuit on my hands for that, but see, this is a comedy show. So they got me, you know, you don't want. But now, this is the weird part, right? It's only a year and a half later, and now they asked me to host the show. So I wondered, I go, hey, wait a second here. Hey! I go, how did I go in a year and a half from being not funny enough to be even allowed in the building to being so funny that I'm now hosting the show? How did I suddenly get so damn funny? was inexplicable to me because a year and a half, let's face it, is not enough time for a dude to learn how to be funny. Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later. But okay, so let's recap. The bad news is I'm still not funny. The good news is the show blows.
And this sums up perfectly why Norm Macdonald is one of the greatest, if not the greatest comedian of all times. He and Dave Chapelle are two people who do not give a fuck. They just say what they have to say. And the beautiful thing about comedy is a way of saying uncomfortable truths that people know is true, but people cannot really say that. That was the role of the court jester in the time of old, who was able to say difficult things in the front of the king and make everyone laugh about it. But with the way things are going, where comedy is under attack, people are being cancelled for jokes and all that, it just makes it weird, and it makes it sort of a rare commodity to have a comedian who is able to still say the edgy stuff, who is able to still say the difficult thing. And I think I really appreciate the effort that Dave Chapelle put into this SNL monologue. I remember that some of the staffs of SNL said they were boycotting the show because he was coming into the show. Well, good for them. He's coming to the show, he's done his bit, and it was funny, and people laughed at it. So that's the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.